Across Australia, Indigenous advocates are speaking out against injustice and calling for systemic change. In Darwin, AMSANT has condemned a bus policy banning passengers with soiled clothes as discriminatory, especially against homeless Aboriginal people. It's all about exclusion, says CEO Dr. John Patterson. In Perth, 3 men face sentencing over the 2022 killing of 15-year-old Cassius Turvey, who was beaten with a metal pole in a violent attack unrelated to him. The case has sparked national outrage. At the upcoming NAIDOC Forum in Bulletin, keynote speaker Professor Jackie Huggins will highlight resilience, truth-telling, and cultural strength. When our knowledge is shared, it creates a space for reconciliation, she said. More of that later. Kaya, I'm Leanne Djilandi Dolby, and this is the National Indigenous Times News Bulletin for the 26th of June 2025. A signage policy on Darwin buses warning passengers they may be removed for wearing soiled clothing has been condemned by the Aboriginal Medical Services Alliance Northern Territory as discriminatory and harmful to vulnerable communities. AMSANT CEO Dr. John Patterson said the policy unfairly targets Aboriginal people, many of whom are affected by homelessness, poverty, or mental ill health, in a jurisdiction with one of the highest homelessness rates in Australia. This decision is not just elitist, it's shameful, Dr. Patterson said. This has nothing to do with the public safety or hygiene. It's about exclusion. While Anti-Infrastructure Minister Bill Yan defended the policy as a hygiene measure, critics argue it risks racial profiling and further marginalisation. AMSANT warns the policy could breach anti-discrimination laws and is calling instead for investment in safe housing, disability services, and culturally safe community-led support. 3 men responsible for the brutal killing of 15-year-old Noongar Nation boy Cassius Turvey are set to be sentenced following convictions over a violent chain of events in Perth's eastern suburbs in October 2022. Jack Brearley and Brodie Palmer were found guilty of murder, while Mitchell Forth was convicted of manslaughter. The court heard the attack was a part of an escalating series of retaliatory incidences that began with a suburban love triangle and that Cassius had no involvement in earlier disputes. He was hunted and beaten with a metal pole while fleeing into bushland. Prosecutor Ben Stanwicks told the court Cassius didn't make it as far as the fence when the accused Brearley caught up with him. He was caught, knocked to the ground and deliberately struck in the head with a metal pole. Cassius died 10 days later in hospital for severe head injuries. The case drew national outrage, with many, including Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, condemning the attack as racially motivated, though prosecutors did not pursue that as a legal argument. The sentencing begins Thursday. Coinciding with the 2025 National NAIDOC Awards, the National NAIDOC Forum in Bulletin, Perth, will feature around 20 First Nations speakers, reflecting on the theme The Next Generation, Strength, Vision and Legacy. Among them is Professor Jackie Huggins, a respected Bajara and Birigubba Juru elder and long-standing advocate for reconciliation, who will deliver the keynote address on July the 4th. Professor Huggins emphasised NAIDOC Week as a time to celebrate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures, visibility and intergenerational knowledge. When our knowledge is shared, it creates a space for reconciliation and truth-telling, which is so needed in our country. We are just on the precipice of doing so. A former co-commissioner and now the ABC's inaugural Elder-in-Residence, Huggins called for greater government accountability, cultural safety, genuine partnerships to advance self-determined outcomes. Reflecting on the failed voice referendum, she affirmed that the work continues with truth-telling and treaty processes already progressing in parts of Queensland. Her core message is one of enduring strength, never give up and stand with First Nations peoples. The 2025 NAISDA graduation ceremony celebrated 28 proud First Nations graduates on Barkindjan country, including 5 who earned the Advanced Diploma of Professional Dance Performance. Among them was Joshua Doctor, who made history as the first NAISDA graduate to join the Australian Dance Theatre as a full-time company artist. NAISDA CEO Kim Walker praised the graduates as culture carriers, storytellers and change makers, while keynote speaker Daniel Riley highlighted their cultural and creative leadership. This class of 2024 is an incredibly This class of 2024 is an incredibly impressive group. The event honoured the power of dance, culture, and community in shaping the future of First Nations performing arts. That's today's daily news. That's today's daily news. I don't even need to do that part. That's today's daily news roundup from the National Indigenous Times. For more news, head to nit.com.au and sign up for our free newsletter.